1974, Osaka, Japan. A child named Yuji Naka is enthralled, in fact, obsessed with speed. Meanwhile, a young Naoto Oshima is captivated by every move, every image of the Western superhero. The two will one day join fascinations to change the world of video games, armed only with a blue insectivore and red shoes. This is the story of Sonic the Hedgehog. (1988). For 3 years now, the mission of pretty much every game console maker in the world has been the same. Defeat Nintendo. Nobody can even come close.
What will the future bring from Nintendo?
The 8-bit Nintendo Entertainment System dominates the world market with a 90% share. Sega tries to topple the 800-pound gorilla by releasing a 16-bit console called Mega Drive in Japan and Europe and Genesis in the US. Despite a blistering fast microprocessor and some edgy commercials, there's just no shaking Nintendo's stranglehold. In the US, one household out of every 4 buys an NES, falling in love with its chubby little plumber, Mario. 1989. Sega top brass wants to boast its console's processing speed by creating a character and game much quicker than Mario.
There was a big movement campaign to create Sega's mascot icon. And it was a company-wide effort that everyone could submit their ideas. And there were about 200 drawings or different characters submitted.
A ton of cool pitches come in. There's a rabbit, followed by some other interesting calls like an armadillo and a bear. Enter an idea from the superhero-inspired mind of illustrator Naoto Oshima. His crafty creature is a hedgehog with Sega blue skin named Mr. Needlemouse. The spiny mammal could ball up and use his body as a weapon. He's cute but cool, noble and helpful, with a little attitude to boot.
I actually wrote a proposal and showed it to my boss and told him this is a game I want to make. It was just a character that runs fast and runs in loops. So when I told my boss, he said the person who can make a game like this is Yuji Naka.
Charismatic programmer Yuji Naka has already created a handful of moderately successful Sega games. He kicks off his next project, harnessing his lifelong love for speed to create a game like no other.
I liken this to Super Mario Brothers that I had played many, many times. To play Mario from this point to this point took 30 seconds, but if I can go through the same place in 10 seconds, your skill increases. My desire was to play games much faster and have a better sense of accomplishment.
Naka's fast-as-heck program lacks one vital element, a character. Oshima shows Naka drawings of Mr. Needlemouse and explains his unlikely muses.
At the time, Michael Jackson released Bad, and his boots had a belt on it, and I thought it was really cool. But color-wise, a black boot is kind of boring, so I thought of the most famous character in the world, Santa Claus, and I took his color to make Michael Jackson's boots for Sonic.
Mr. Needlemouse's "Get It Done Now" attitude is taken straight from Capitol Hill.
If there was a problem, Bill Clinton took action right away. I saw that American attitude on TV. That was the kind of character I wanted to make.
After a few character tweaks, the most significant of which is a name change, Sega's hopeful savior is born, Sonic the Hedgehog.
That was the most exciting moment for me. It made me think, wow, this is a great game. Everyone's going to be so surprised.
Surprised is one way to describe Sega's reaction to Sonic. Many from the anxious stateside management are miffed. Remember, at this time, most Americans have never heard of a hedgehog.
People in the US said, what the heck, what is the hedgehog? It was perceived very strangely. That combined with very Japanese style, big cute eyes and that kind of thing, put people off initially.
The struggling game company's challenge is clear. How do you make an odd blue insectivore defeat the hottest franchise in video game history? It won't be easy, but if they can make it work, video games will certainly never be the same. $1990. Sega, with its new 16-bit console, tries to make a Mario killer as Nintendo is about to release its own 16-bitter. Yuji Naka's program and Naoto Oshima's character design yield a speedy blue hedgehog named Sonic, but two essential elements are missing: the world which Sonic will explore and full support from Sega of America. Sega's rookie game designer, Hirokazu Yasuhara, joins Naka and Oshima to form the new division, Sonic Team. Yasuhara designs a prototype featuring the trippy universe Sonic will call home. The challenge? Appease two nations.
American audience and Japanese audience is different. American audience feel the challenging. It's the most fun part of the video game. But Japanese audience want more casual gameplay element. So I want to create a game for the both countries' audiences, not only the hardcore gamer, but the casual gamers also.
While Yasuhara constructs levels featuring loops, pinball-like bumpers, and the soon-to-be famous gold rings, Oshima builds Sonic's backstory, casting him as a rock star in a band full of party animals, complete with groupie girlfriend, a busty damsel named Madonna.
Sonic is smaller than a human, but he had a human girlfriend who was very attractive and would chase Sonic, so it's like a male fantasy.
The odd nature of the game proves to be a challenge to many, namely Sega of America, led by their new hired gun, Mattel Toys mastermind Tom Kalinske. The new Prez brings with him a new outlook. Kalinski's team goes to work repurposing Japan Sonic in order to make it more sellable in the US. They soften him up, literally and figuratively.
Originally, Sonic had fangs, and so we had to remove the fangs. We also had to remove his girlfriend, Madonna, and we also had to remove him out of a rock band. I didn't doubt Sonic. As a matter of fact, I'm known as the mother of Sonic. Mothers love their children. I protected that character. I helped define that character. We had softened him a lot. And that was, there was war.
A war starting with a single publicity poster showing Sonic's stateside makeover.
I think Oshima's art style was very Japanese. In those days, Sega of America's marketing really wanted to make it a little more American, and the very first Sonic the Hedgehog games poster Sega of America marketing created was hated by the Sonic team and became a big issue at that time.
I had to go to Japan and negotiate or rationalize why Sonic should look like this going forward, and that wasn't a fun meeting.
In those days, I hated the American change to the look and feel, and I didn't know how the consumers would perceive it. But looking back now, that was one of the reasons it succeeded.
Somewhat content with the character tweaks, the man considered by many as the father of Sonic takes a first whack at the prototype.
At the very beginning, honestly, it kind of gave me motion sickness. It was that fast.
Sonic Team slows the game down just a bit while finalizing the star's mission. He must stop the sinister Dr. Robotnik from stealing 6 mystical, power-giving gemstones called Chaos Emeralds in an attempt to rule Sonic's homeland of South Island. After months and months of 21-hour workdays, Sonic Team buckles down to finish on time. On the 23rd of June 1991, Sonic the Hedgehog wags his finger at all of America. This thing has the potential to become one of the most popular characters in game history, thanks in part to risky, aggressive ads and a little guerrilla marketing.
We're a guerrilla marketer, so we did a mall tour. The purpose of the mall tour was to show Sonic, but we did something very interesting. We also introduced the world to 16-bit Super NES Mario. We had a giant 32-inch TV, it was giant at that time, showing Mario and letting kids play it. And right next to it, same type of TV with Sonic.
Wow, Sonic's fast.
I used to attend the mall tours, put on the Sonic costume. I saw this 3-year-old playing Sonic. He didn't even look up at me. I was completely invisible to him, and here I'm wearing this big blue Sonic costume. Right next to him was a teen, right next to him was an adult, and they were all playing Sonic the Hedgehog.
Never seen people gravitate to a video game or to a character as they did with Sonic, because we had nothing else to lose. We had to go up against Nintendo. For every dollar that we had in our marketing budget, Nintendo had $15. Some people may think we were crazy. Some people were thinking that we were risking everything we had by going head to head.
Within hours of its release, Sega would find out if their risky game, starring a risky character, would pay off. The fiercest fight in video game history is on. Sega releases Sonic the Hedgehog in June of 1991. Overnight, the tiny blue creature loop-de-loops into the hearts of Americans. He's every bit the instant classic Sega wants and needs. Nintendo's market share starts to budge. A little. After other successful premieres in Japan and Europe, Sonic is on its way to break 1 million sold before the year's end. However, Sega management looks to enter the ever-important holiday season with a very odd strategy: give their hottest game away. Executive VP Shinobu Toyota and Sega America Pres Tom Kalinske pitched the idea of bundling Sonic with the Genesis to Sega Japan Pres Hayo Nakayama.
He said to us, "You crazy? We make money from software. And you give that very best title away?" He stood up, he kicked the chair, he started to walk to the conference room door. Then he turned around to Tom Kalinske and said to Tom, "If you believe this is the way to beat Nintendo, do it." We gave Sonic away eventually to 15 million households with our hardware system.
Perhaps the riskiest move of that console's generation pays off. Nintendo, the once untouchable king of console sales, loses the coveted market majority to Sega. It's a dream come true for Sonic's 3 creators.
When Sonic beat Mario, it made me very happy. I went to Universal Studios and everyone asked for my autograph. At that moment, I was like, wow, Sonic is very famous.
We did prove it's possible to defeat the giant if we had the hardware for the new generation.
Sonic to me was like a beloved son. I was very proud of him. I wanted him to continue to grow and continue to make me proud.
Sega and Sonic Team immediately go to work on Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Because of the remarkable American launch of Sonic 1, development of the sequel moves from Japan to the newly formed Sega Technical Institute, or STI, in Palo Alto, California.
For Sonic 1, speed was at its max. We had to recreate the program on Sonic 2 because we had to move 2 Sonics at once. So we really needed to focus on speed and the 2-player battling games to introduce the character Tails.